All right, folks, welcome back. You know exactly where I'm at if you've been around for a little while. I'm out here amongst the trees, at least what's left of them. It's kind of a sad state of affairs, as you can imagine, with all the trees down on the ground and the sound of the bugs getting into them. Hear that? Those are the bugs that are starting to bore into the trees as they lay here, and I frantically try to pick them up. Now, get a bit closer here. Hear them in there? One of the other things you can tell that is happening to these logs comes from these little dust piles. This pile actually looks not too bad. Oh, there they are. Have a look up in here. See that dust pile? That one especially. See it up in there? Right there? That's from the boring insects. See these holes? That's what's happening to these logs out here, and so that's why I'm working as fast as I can to get them picked up and back to the sawmill. Now we're on this pile here right now, and I'm just trying to pick off here what I can. There's some that are decent, some that are a bit too small, and so we'll take the decent ones for now, and we'll make the best of it. This right here is my new Metavic log loader trailer, so it's a 14-foot reach on this. You can see the model there, the 1150 M14. That's a RF15 trailer. That's just the model. We've got 11-foot of deck there. And overall, this thing can haul quite a bit of weight. I'm not going to be able to with my tractor. But 11,600 pounds, I think. Somewhere in that neighborhood for total payload. As the trailer sits there, we're right around 2,400 pounds. So it's still a good little bit of steel there. And we add on some logs and the weight quickly jumps up. That 14-foot reach was a real big selling factor for me. I had to look for a trailer that A, my tractor could pull, and then B, met that reach requirement. I wanted the most reach possible, but not having a trailer that was too big for my tractor. It's only a 40-horse tractor, and so you got to make sure the trailer's not too heavy, because if you get a huge trailer behind you, and then you load logs on it, you'll barely be able to pull it up the hills over the terrain. Not to mention, I needed a trailer that was narrow enough so it didn't get any wider than my tractor. I didn't want to be going through my narrow trails, forget that the trailer was a bit wider, and clip a tree. So having a trailer approximately this size, 2,500 pounds, give or take, empty, load that thing up. It's a pretty good match for my tractor. So you'll see me loading some logs here today. As I said, these are going over to my sawmill. As I'm picking up the logs, when I'm at maximum reach, I can pick up about 900 pounds. When I'm at half reach, I'm at 2,600 pounds. So the odd time when I'm really reaching out and it's a bit too heavy, you'll see me start to drag it back a bit, even dragging on the ground. And that'll allow me, as I get closer, to increase that lift capacity. Now, some of these trees are quite long, so you'll also see me cutting them to length. I'll have my loggers tape out here today and the chainsaw. The length that I'm cutting is typically around 12.5 feet. Depending on the lumber that I'm after, but generally 12.5 feet is where I aim for. And so you'll see it hanging out the trailer just a little bit, just because the deck's 11 feet. My loader here doesn't have an auxiliary engine, so the hydraulic power for this unit comes right off the tractor. And so these lines you see running to the rear remotes on the tractor, that's where the hydraulic pressure is coming from to move all the cylinders on the loader here. Now, I don't notice any difference increasing the RPM on the tractor versus running it at idle. I find that the loader, even at tractor idle, runs very smoothly. I get full lift capacity, and so I see no reason to increase it. By having the RPM nice and low, the sound is low. Also, I sip fuel with the tractor, so that's a nice feature. Although I don't do this every single time, you may see me from time to time picking up a log slightly off center, and that way the log leans down a little bit. If I take that downward lean and guide it into the front of the trailer, that keeps that log low so that if it does happen to start swinging, it's not going to come into contact with the cylinders on the boom there. I also tend to keep the log slightly off center so it's not in line underneath the boom. And that way, for the same reason, if it does start to swing, I make a bad movement for whatever reason, it doesn't swing up and hit the underside of the boom. It's off center, so it's going to miss it.